Alright, Sue, here's this first one. And see, I mean, because your stance is wide, you're kind of having to go down after with your head and upper body in a little bit of an uncomfortable way. Whereas there, you're still going to go down some, but it's not near as much. Simply because your stance was a more normal width than that one, where you're wider apart there. So that's a pretty simple thing, and that wasn't uncomfortable for you at all. So that looks nice and smooth there. And then starting out today, again, from this down the line angle, the downswing plane looked absolutely glorious with that driver. Just a scotia boat with the iron. I didn't like that. But then when we got the driver on there, it looked totally fine. And again, I was a little surprised that that driver wasn't going as far when you're on the plane line so well. But then when you said you're kind of bunting it out there a little bit, I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. And then you just add a little more length to your backswing, you started hitting a little more normal. And you got your normal height, too, where it popped off the air. And then the other thing we mentioned is just try to make sure that 45-second shot is slowed down real well when you're on the course. Try to have a little way to remind yourself of that each time. Is just slow down. There's no rush. And then during the swing, like you did so well here with that wedge, and then a 9-iron, I think, and then the rescue. I mean, it was just really neat the way you slowed down right at the start there, and then you were smoothly aggressive and really hit the ball in a nice aggressive way and popped it out there instead of kind of rushing away. When we know, remember, that's the thing that really, and you know, kind of surprised me about that a year or two ago when we worked on that. That man, it's interesting when she gets quick, her positions get worse. You see what I mean? The actual place where you were, like relative to the plane line or your arms on the downswing, got worse. So I'm thinking, you know, I usually don't work on people's tempo, but I think when her tempo is more normal, she does pretty well. So I just want to remind you of that. So and that's what we saw here. And so this is Joel Suggs. I sure enjoyed meeting you down at the Cincinnati Golf Show this weekend and showing you your swing on the 2D equipment that I have. And so I want to take about 2 or 3 minutes to just show you around Meadowlinks. This is the studio I use in the winter for all my students. You see there's the down-the-line camera angle for our 2D equipment. And then we have the face-on camera angle also. And then what we also have here is 3D equipment to where I can show you your swing from 6 different camera angles with this 3D equipment. And we can get your swing from down to the 1/120th of a second in terms of exactly what your hips, shoulders, and hands are doing in the swing. And then also, I have the most realistic hitting curve I've ever seen from puttersedge.com. So when you hit your full shots, it feels as realistic as possible. And then I have 3 different green speeds for you to practice your putting. 9.5 on the step meter, 10.5 on the step meter, and 12.5 on the step meter. That's benefited my students tremendously. And then also I have a lot of learning aids like this Smart Stick. You can see the rest of those learning aids over here in my bag that we can work on to help you learn the certain fields in your golf swing that you and I both want. And then also I help my students a lot with their equipment through the winter. This is a frequency analyzer where we twang your club and it gives us a reading here. And then also we plot your whole set, each club on these lines to see if the set is really matched or not. Quite often they aren't, and it helps my students tremendously when they find out what clubs are the offending clubs. Then if we get tired of being indoors and want to go outdoors and hit some, we can do that. It's my daughter. Ellie, good to see you. I haven't seen her in weeks. No wonder you've been gone, Ellie. You've been out here playing in the snow all this time. But this is our natural turf area. This is closed until April, as you can see. But it's a fantastic area where we can step outside and hit some balls and get some real ball flight. Or, if we get pretty satisfied that things are looking better on the video here, and we're kind of cooped up inside and want to go outside, we can step on out and hit balls and see real ball flight for about 5 or 10 or 15 minutes, however long you and I can stand the cold, out into the air, and we see them land at these different flags. I have a yardage book for this driving range. It's the first one I've ever seen in my life where we know exactly what it is with the front, back, and middle of each green. And again, the covered area here is heated, so we stay out there for about 5, 10, 15 minutes, like I said. It enables us to see some ball flight, and then we get satisfied that things are looking the way we want, and we can come back inside, take off our coat, and look again at the video equipment to see how your swing's looking, to make sure that you understand it. And then notice too, my exercise ball up top here, and then also, so I help my students a lot with their fitness through the winter, and then I will help you also with your sports psychology, with your golf psychology from the golfpsych.com people down in Texas. That's helped my students tremendously a lot over the years too. So again, I sure enjoyed meeting you down at the Cincinnati Golf Show this weekend. I look forward to seeing you again out here this summer at Meadowlinks, or even right now in the winter. I have a lot of people that work on their games with me right through the winter. Check out more information about the things I do to help you at joelsuggs.com. Take care.